for. All three buildings, both towers in the rubble, in the basement areas, and Building 7, there's these pools of molten metal.
This is how it's been since day one. Oh, it's unbelievable. And this is 6 weeks later, almost 6 weeks later. And as we get closer to the center of this, it gets hotter and hotter. It's probably 1,500 degrees. We've had some small windows into what we thought was the core at some point, and it looked like an oven. You know, it was just roaring inside. And it's just a bright reddish orange color. See that stuff he's pulling out? What was that, Chief? We're gonna hold off on the water. See the stuff he's pulling out? Yeah. It's red hot. If we hit it too much steam, you won't be able to see what he's doing. Great.
So I'm looking through the official reports. What do they say about the molten metal? They say nothing. Now, wait a minute. This is important evidence. It's discussed by many people. Initially on the scene, you have people saying the molten metal and still flowing off. So where did that come from? Not from fires. We agree on that. Where did it come from? The only explanation I can find for that is exothermic chemical reactions. And the most notable suspect is a thermite reaction. It doesn't have to be thermite. There are other high temperature chemical reactions, but that's the most likely one. Thermite can be purchased on eBay, and many people, I show it in my class, physics, and I'll be showing it this fall in my physical science class. What we've got is a mixture of iron oxide, which provides the oxygen, and aluminum powder. A lot of that dust is aluminum oxide. You form aluminum oxide and molten iron. That's what the molten iron looks like. Notice the color there. It's a yellow-white hot, which would be easily 1,000 centigrade. It's around 2,500 Fahrenheit or so. It requires the oxide. It's the oxygen here that's held by the iron that allows this to go. And as we bump these together now, you'll have a reaction in which the aluminum picks up, steals the oxygen from the iron oxide, and the aluminum just grabs on that oxygen and produces a very high temperature reaction. And the result is jet fuel will not ignite that. That's one thing. But you get it to ignite with an arc, for example, or burning magnesium. It will ignite. This is just kind of a fun way to show on a small scale. The products are molten iron. Remember, all three buildings had molten metal. And aluminum oxide, which goes off primarily as a dust. You know those enormous dust clouds? You can imagine when you assemble these chemicals on a large scale, the amount of heat that you generate. People say, well, if there's explosives or something, okay, you've got your arguments, but where's the smoking gun? By analyzing this, we determined it is not molten aluminum from the plane, okay. Indeed, it contains a great deal of iron, which is the product of the thermite reaction. It's not just structural steel that somehow melted, no. It's very little chromium. But it does have sulfur and manganese and some other elements that are characteristic, you see. It's like a fingerprint that the criminal left behind. This carries with it evidence. How was this done? What was used?